Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Nigel, and today I just want to bring you guys a really quick video about sliders. So I haven't owned a lot of sliders in my time. One of the biggest gripes that I have about sliders is that so many of them are just too big and bulky and heavy. I've had a Canova slider, and it was like the 19-inch version, and although it was really smooth, it was very heavy and very cumbersome to take around with me, especially when I was doing a lot of my hiking and traveling videos. Like the first shot of my State 33 video was using that Canova 19-inch slider, but I really only used 12 inches of the 19 inches that I had. So I decided to look for a new slider that would be smaller and more compact, that I could just throw in my backpack and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a slider that I could really justify buying. So Edelkrone has some really cool sliders, and they basically are the only people who are making small sliders. They have the Slider Plus and they have the Slider 1. The Slider 1 is really the one that I was looking at because it looked like a really cool, little small slider that I could throw in my backpack and it'd be great. The only problem is it's like $200, and that's like way too much money to spend on a 9-inch slider. So what I decided to do was to get a really cheap friction-based slider and just cut it down to the length that I think would be the perfect slider length for me, and I came up with this. This is my new little travel slider. It used to be a newer 24-inch friction-based slider with these silicone bearings inside of them, and it gives me a really, pretty smooth slide. But yeah, it was just a 24-inch slider. I got my dad's hacksaw and I just cut off both of the ends. I still have to figure out something to use to stop it from falling off, but it does have these little 1/4-20 taps on the bottom still that I'm going to use to make little end plates for them so that the actual carriage doesn't slide off. But yeah, this is way lighter than my Canova, and it's much smaller than a lot of the other friction-based sliders. It's definitely not going to be as smooth or as easy to get a really good shot, first try. I'm probably going to have to do a few passes, but for 35 bucks, this is much more in my price range, and I can actually justify buying it. I just really needed something that was going to be small that I could throw right on my backpack, and most of all, cheap. Although the Edelkrone Slider 1 is probably buttery smooth, for $200, it's just a little bit too expensive for my blood. I know that there are some companies online that are making knockoffs of this, which I might look into, but this is only 35 bucks, and for now it's serving me pretty well. I'll show you guys some sample slides so you can kind of get an idea of how smooth this slider is. It's definitely not the best out there. This is a friction-based slider, not one that uses any bearings. Back when sliders first started to become popular, they were all friction-based silicone bearing sliders, and people were still able to get some pretty decent shots with them. So yeah, I just have my newer S2 video head on here, and this is a newer slider. So, for the most part, Newer has been making some, decent copycat gear. If you want a smaller slider and you don't want to pay 200 bucks for an Edelkrone, then you can just buy a 24-inch Newer slider, get your hacksaw, cut off the ends cut off as much of the excess space that you don't want, and it'll be a much more compact little system that you can just throw right in your bag. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If it was helpful in any way, it'd be rad if you guys hit the like button, and if you guys are interested in seeing more videos like this, it'd be really cool if you subscribed. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Later.